Hello everybody, I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone and welcome back to another YouTube video. And this morning we had some news. Free agent, defensive end, still sounds weird that he is a free agent. J.J. Watt is rumored to sign with the Browns, and currently he's been free agency for about 4 days now, and that is right now his favorite landing spot. And per the reports I saw earlier this morning, he was seriously considering, quote unquote, signing with the Browns, and it definitely makes sense. Obviously, Watt is a future Hall of Famer, 101 career sacks, over 400 tackles, all that good stuff. Three defensive players of the year. He's made it to 5 Pro Bowls. Won the 2014 Brett Bell Award, won 2017 Walter Payton. The guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no matter how you put it. He could literally retire tomorrow and he would 100% be a Hall of Famer. But, it's incredible that, he's only been playing in the league since 2011 was his rookie year, and he managed to get, 100 sacks in a decade. And that's not even counting all of those games he missed when he was injured. Of course, I think it was 2017, he was injured in the first couple of games. Yeah, it was 2017, 2018, or 2016, 2017, and 2019. 2016, he played 3 games, only averaged 1.5 sacks, only 8 tackles. Then in 2017, he only played 5 games, averaging 15 tackles. And in 2019, he was again injured, only played 8 games, where he had 4 sacks and just 24 tackles. Along with 21 QB hits, though. That's pretty impressive for 8 games, considering he had 25 in 2018 in a full 16-game season. But every single year Watt has made the Pro Bowl, he's been an All-Pro. And obviously we are talking about the best player from last decade, defensively at least. So this is pretty huge news, obviously, if he goes to the Browns. Now, for last year, he was still averaging pretty good stats. I mean, he stayed healthy all year, which was great. He averaged 5 sacks in 16 games. That's not great, but we'll give the Texans a benefit of the doubt because they were atrocious last year. And let's be real, no one was really helping out Watt get that much pressure. He had 36 solo tackles and 2 forced fumbles. He's rumored to go to a lot of teams right now. I heard the Titans being thrown around. I heard that the Packers are thrown around because he went to college in Wisconsin, so it makes sense for the Packers to sign him. It makes sense for the Steelers to sign Watt because obviously Derek and TJ Watt are his brothers. I mean, come on. TJ and JJ on the same defense. I mean, that would be pretty sick, having all the 3 Watt brothers on Pittsburgh. I'm thinking that I think another team involved was the Colts, but I don't really see how Indianapolis is going to pick him up. They already have a very strong defense. I mean, if you add him onto it, great, but I don't think there's any need. And I think the last team I saw was the Seahawks, but I don't know if Seattle has the salary cap to really bring in J.J. Watt. However, the Browns do, and I would imagine if they were to sign him, I mean, it would probably just be a 1-year deal if they were to sign him this year. But if Watt stays healthy and produces like what he did last year, if not a little bit better, I think this is when we could see a 3 or 4 year contract for about $80 million come into play if you're the Browns. Because obviously, if he plays well next year, you're going to want to lock him up long term. I think for this offseason, whoever's signing him, it's going to be for a 1, max 2 year deal. No one's going to give him that 3, 4, 5 year contract just yet, but they will do that contract next offseason if he's performing well and stays healthy. And here's the thing, with the Texans, they really, outside of J.J. Watt, have a pretty weak defensive line. I mean, they got rid of DJ Reader, he went to the Bengals, and I mean, the linebackers are okay, but not really their defensive line. However, the Browns, of course, have Myles Garrett and Sheldon Richardson and Larry Ogunjobi on the defensive line. Much better than Houston's. Much better by a mile. And then not to mention the linebackers for the Browns are even a little bit better. Malcolm Smith, okay, I don't think he's going to be on the team next year. He's probably going to get released. BJ Goodson, he was on the Packers a couple years ago, played pretty well last year. And then Shone Takaki, he is one of the more underrated linebackers in the league. And then not to mention that secondary is very good with Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, Andrew Sendejo. Okay, Sendejo might get released. They'll probably draft a free safety. And then Carl Joseph and Ronnie Harrison. Good Lord. I'm wearing a Jaguars hoodie, and I forgot Ronnie Harrison for a second. Goodness gracious. But, Joseph and Harrison will be battling it out for the starting strong safety spot. And we know that Browns offense, it can do stuff. I mean, yeah, Baker Mayfield really broke out. He was great his rookie year, kind of was not good in 2019, but he really picked up his slack this year. Obviously, the Browns made their first playoff appearance since 2002, and they did it without Odell Beckham Jr. Remember, he tore his ACL, what was it, week 8 or so? He tore his ACL. And listen, Jarvis Landry proved that he can carry that offense, and same thing with Austin Hooper. I know that, now obviously you have Myles Garrett. He's already a Pro Bowler himself, All-Pro as well. But here's the thing. You're thinking, well, if they have Myles Garrett, yes, adding on J.J. Watt would be such a good idea because you would pretty much have the best defensive line in the league if you did that. The current right end for the Browns is Olivier Vernon, former Dolphin and Giant, all right? Vernon is good. He's a veteran. He's been in the league for, I think, at least 7 years, if not longer. He's good. Not great. A starter on some teams. If he was to go back to the Giants, he'd be a starter. If he was to go to the Jets, he'd be a starter. If he was to go to a team like maybe the Eagles, he'd be a starter. He ain't a starter on the Browns. And quite frankly, his contract's coming to a close soon. I think in the next 2 years. He was involved in the Odell Beckham trade, by the way. So yeah, his contract is really running up. I would say Vernon may be a release candidate. I think Malcolm Smith is a release candidate. I think Andrew Sendejo is a release candidate. I think they pick up a free safety in the draft, or they switch Carl Joseph over to free safety and bring in Ronnie Harrison at strong safety. I think, that's at least what I would do, so you wouldn't have to draft another safety. Not to mention, they also have Grant DePelt, who they drafted last year out of LSU. Never mind, they're going to be releasing Sendejo and replacing him with Grant DePelt. So there you go. And then, personally, I would release Carl Joseph and then put Ronnie Harrison in there. And then for the offense, and again, I'm just talking about what players I would personally release so you can create salary cap for J.J. Watt and, not be bankrupt. I think another player, I know Rashad Higgins is a pending free agent. He's a pretty good wide receiver 3. I don't know if you really want to release Rashad Higgins. But here's the thing. You have Ryan Switzer on the practice squad. And you also have Marvin Hall, who played decent in limited time. There is talent there. And also JoJo Natson. He was a pretty good, he was a kick returner on the Rams, but he was a pretty good kick returner. So you can even use JoJo Natson a little bit. You can release Rashad Higgins. I know you're saying, the Odell Beckham trade rumors, and yeah, those are believable to a certain degree, but I think right now you get rid of Rashad Higgins and you bump up either Marvin Hall or Ryan Switzer to the wide receiver 3 position, and then no matter what, you have a pretty good wide receiver 4. You hands down get rid of David Njoku. You do not need David Njoku. I'd say if there's no buyers at the draft, just release him, will ya? You demanded a trade request back in October. It's time to move on from David Njoku. Austin Hooper is clearly better. And Harrison Bryant, how about the rookie tight end last year? He played sensational, honestly. For, what was he drafted in the 4th round? Let me just check here. But, he definitely exceeded expectations last season, which was very nice. Yeah, he's currently 22. He had 238 yards and 3 touchdowns. Don't tell me what round he was drafted in, though. Come on now. What round was he drafted in? He was drafted in the 4th round. Yeah, he was drafted in the 4th round, where Njoku was a first round, but not first overall. First round pick, though, a couple years back, I think in 2018. So definitely release Njoku if you can't get a trade, or just trade for a draft pick. I don't know. I think a team would definitely pick up David Njoku for a 3rd round pick. I'm a Jaguars fan. I wouldn't mind if the Jaguars picked up David Njoku for a second or third round pick. I'd be cool with that, honestly. But I'm just trying to take a look at offensive linemen. The Browns' offensive line's fantastic, so I haven't really touched that. But I think if you release those players or trade some of those players, you can definitely make enough salary cap room to get J.J. Watt. And it would certainly make sense to do so because you replace Olivier Vernon with a much better Olivier Vernon. Comparing J.J. Watt to Olivier Vernon's nonsense. J.J. Watt's just straight up the better player all time, even right now, even when half injured he probably is. No disrespect to Olivier Vernon, though. He's a veteran in his own right, but come on, J.J. Watt's better. And then you have Larry Ogunjobi and Sheldon Richardson. I think Richardson needs to be re-signed, but Larry Ogunjobi, I think he's also a paying free agent, but I think if you just give both those guys like 2-3 year deals, that should be fine. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't exceed like $25 million for their contracts. You locked up Myles Garrett long term. That's good. And ultimately, you just signed Watt to a 1-year deal this year. And then again, if he succeeds, you re-sign him for like a 3-4 year deal. I wouldn't go anything crazy and sign him to like 6-7 years. That's a bit excessive because he is now, how old is Wise? 32? Oh no, he's 31. He's got to be 32 though by the start of next season. His birthday is March 22nd, so he will be 32 by the start of the preseason and obviously next season. So I would say that, you want to give him like the 3-4 year contract afterwards, but we'll see what happens. And again, I think if he doesn't sign with the Browns, then I would say his second option would probably be the Packers, just because he went to Wisconsin. Again, I could even make a Packers video of Watt signing with the Packers. I could kind of just go through the Packers roster saying, all right, they're really low in the salary cap right now, but if they release so-and-so, they don't re-sign Aaron Jones, they may be good. They may be able to sign him. And the same thing for Pittsburgh. I don't know if they have the salary cap, but if they get rid of Juju Smith-Schuster and a couple other pieces, then maybe they can bring in Watt, and we could have the Watt brothers on the same team. But I just heard news today that he is seriously considering signing with the Browns, so that is why I purposely made this video. And honestly, what to the Browns? I mean, I thought he was going to go to the Packers, but the Browns were my second team I saw him going to, so I'd be cool if Watt signed with the Browns, honestly. And again, the Browns, they have a good enough offense too. I mean, they did last year. If you keep Odell Beckham Jr., and you only lose Rashad Higgins, and you keep that offensive line, and again, the only pieces you lose is Rashad Higgins and David Njoku, you're fine. You will make the playoffs again. Pittsburgh's going to fall. Baltimore, I think, is back on track. I think the Ravens are going to start off the season a little bit better next year, but overall, the Browns should win the division, if not finish in second. And they'll definitely make it in as a wild card team, barring like the injury bug, because they could certainly make the playoffs. Even as the 8th seed, they could make it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone saying enjoy the rest of your evening. Let me know where you think J.J. Watt's going to sign. Again, the only reason why I made this video that he signed with the Browns because I heard reports earlier this morning they were seriously considering signing there. Who knows? Maybe this video will age horribly and he signs with the Giants or whatever. I mean, that would be crazy. But you know, hey, it'll be fun to see if this video ages well or it ages horribly. Or the Browns do pick him up, but they keep, like, David Njoku and, like, Olivier Vernon and stuff. Would make no sense how they would be able to pull that off, but maybe they will. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone saying enjoy the rest of your evening. Let me know what you think JJ is going in the comments below. Until next time, I'll see you later. And I keep on forgetting to do my outro. Make sure you push for Blake. Make sure Yaroslav Halak wins the Vezina. And I'm out.